Hey, and welcome, itsmsKIRA Speaks. The way I recorded about half of this video and the phone and so I have to start over because it's disappeared indefinitely. Anyway, I had to put my rich auntie coat, as I call it, on for you guys in honor of this video. Not a rich auntie, but child, I aspire. So I wanted to give you that vibe. Let's see if I can keep it on for the whole video. But seriously, I was really excited to cover this show. I've been waiting for it. I even posted the trailer on Facebook. If you're not following me there, please do. It's a new series on Prime Video called Riches. This is season 1, episode 1. So as we open our first episode, we are with Stephen Richards, and he is giving an interview for his company, Flair and Glory. He is telling the interviewer that when he first started his company, he reached out to investors that he read about and no one would loan him a penny. He's got a real Nigerian rags to riches story. He's sure they regret it now. He says the black hair and beauty industry generates upwards of £5 billion for the UK economy every year. Now, everyone wants a piece of that black pie without the black folks. He starts to talk about the racism in the industry. Before they wrap up this interview, they're talking about models and magazine covers. You know the drill. Next, we see Nina Richards, and she has just closed the largest merchandising deal in her company's history, and they toast to her in the boardroom. Now, Nina is played by the same lead actress from Them, and I just love her in this. She is absolutely stunning. Miss Nina is Stephen's daughter in America from his first marriage, and we can see that ma'am is a boss, just like dear old dad. Looks like she's the vice president of her company, and I'm assuming it's the president gives her and the rest of the crew the day off and they head on over to the bar. While she's at the bar, she gets a call from her absent father, and ma'am wants no parts. I just love a show with some good family drama. So Stephen's secretary, she checks in on him before she's leaving for the evening. She's like, "You don't look so good." He's like, "I got it. It's all right. Go on ahead and head home." And no sooner than ma'am leaves, he loosens his tie. He walks to his office door. He kind of looks around the workroom floor. And as he goes back in and he's headed to the window, you see him struggling and he passes out. Mom, she's busy with her boo thing, and Gus is at the club partying, real rich kid stuff. He gets the call from his sister Wanda that their dad collapsed and is in the hospital. Mom, at first she ignored the call, as did sister Alicia, who was busy doing a makeup tutorial. So Wanda is at the hospital freaking out, and while she's busy freaking out, Stephen starts crashing. Mom finally arrives. Meanwhile, Gus is busy being pulled over in his fancy car and harassed by the police. Sir, he passes his blood alcohol content, but then when he starts to ask the cop questions, I was like, ooh, I thought we were about to have problems, and I got a little nervous because I didn't want to see all of that. But we didn't, and it's just sad that I have to even think something like that, because that's what really goes on no matter where you are, because I think they're in London. It's always the cops and black folks on some ish because, he's driving a fancy car. You know the story. Wanda and Claudia, which is the mom, they're basically standing out there, and Stephen, he doesn't make it. Gus finally arrives, and Wanda has to break it to him that their dad didn't pull through. We then meet Simon, Stephen's son in America, and he is hard at work when he gets the message about his dad. Now, Nina, she took the guy home at the bar that she was eyeballing and her colleague warned her against. They had a little session, and she basically is throwing son out by his ears. As he's headed out the door, Simon is at the door because he's on his way in. Awkward. After her suitor leaves, Simon tells her, Stephen is dead. Nina's like, whew, you came all the way to Brooklyn to tell me that? Sis is totally unfazed. He has been dead in her head for years, she says. And he says that Stephen's lawyers called and Simon suggests that they go to the funeral. He suggests that they get closure and they know they got to run it by mama. So they go talk to mama and mama is not pleased about the whole thing. Why show up now when you already decided what you want to do? Yikes. That man abandoned us with nothing. I brought us to America. My sister had to take us in. When I say ma'am is through, she is through, and I completely understand. She is disgusted, and Simon says he understands, but Nina says it's only a few days in London. Well, go then and see the woman he chose over us. Mamas, we can be a trip, y'all. Back in London, Wanda is giving Alicia an earful about making a makeup video while their dad was busy dying. Because earlier, we saw her turn off her phone. And then when she woke up, I'm assuming it's the next day, and she turned it on, she had loads of missing calls from the whole family. I can just tell that the dynamics of this family are going to be okay. So their mom, Claudia, tells them to kill the noise, basically. Their dad wouldn't want them fighting. When they met, Stephen told her with him, she could be somebody. Child, I guess. She said he was true to his word and they will celebrate his life without the fighting. She tells Gus that he is the man of the house now and it's time to step up. They are a family and they must stay united. So we see the family at the cemetery for Stephen's homegoing, and everyone is there except Nina and Simon. Miss Claudia moved the funeral up, so they missed it. They find out when they arrive there, and they still basically decide they're going to go over to the house and have a word. Back at the house, it's clear that Stephen's family is not really feeling Miss Claudia. Stephen's buddy Gideon is the executor, and these folks are doing the will the same day. Wow. Gus is upset that he wasn't there when their father passed away, and he's worried that he won't be able to handle all the responsibility that's being put upon him. Meanwhile, Wanda is blacking on the caterers when Alicia and Gus step in. They find out that their dad's other kids were invited, and Wanda says they need not show up now because they weren't at the funeral. If they show up now, they're just a bunch of greedy gold diggers. Little does she know, them kids over in America, they got it going on, okay? Successful on successful on successful. But it's time to read the will. On the way there, Nina wonders why they moved the funeral. What are they hiding? Now, what is your relationship like with your siblings? Just get down in the comments and let me know. I'm just curious to know. I'm not Nina and Simon who are like, and I love to see it. And I'm not quite Wanda, Gus, and Alicia. So Nina and Simon arrive just in time for the will reading. Gideon, like myself, feels like they could have waited and did this another day. Everyone scoffs as Nina and Simon walk in. There's a video from Stephen, and Miss Claudia is not happy. This is not the will. What is this? Oh, but it is. So now to what he left the people. Let me get on into my notes for this one. He leaves his secretary, Maureen, £1 million. His sister and brother, £500,000 each. How they got £500,000 each? And his secretary got $1 million. Gotta keep an eye on Miss Maureen. His wife, Claudia, the house and appropriate income. I think she got like a $20,000 a month allowance, and she was not pleased with that. To his children, his genetic bloodline, he leaves the sum of £30 million to be divided equally. It will be held in a trust until their 40th birthday. Simon, he chuckles. It is his hope Free from the burden of money, they will build meaningful lives and careers for themselves. Child, I say, I don't know how these richer kids are going to fare. Now, Nina and Simon will be perfectly fine because they got their own thing. They are successful. They are doing the darn thing. But Miss Claudia's kids, we gonna see. In my notes, I said, I wondered how these privileged children would handle this news. So finally, we get to the company. It's time to entrust it to the safekeeping of the next generation. He leaves all his shares in the company to Nina and Simon. Nina is like, what? Wanda is distraught. And Claudia, baby, she is blacking the hell out. She says that Gideon turned Stephen against her and she throws everybody out. As they are leaving, Claudia says she will drag them to court and get what's hers. I'm not like your mother. I won't take this lying down. Oh, I know she didn't. Nina tells her, say it again. She steps up to her face. But ma'am, she ain't about that life, and Simon says so. Child, the drama. Loving this show, like I said. Nina and Simon, they have a good old laugh about it later. You can't take the Edmonton out the girl, they say. She put up with him for all those years, and he screws her beyond the grave, Simon says. All he left her was the house. And why, in my mind, did I go to... Which movie was that? Oh my God. Angela Bassett. And I'm not bitter. I'm mad as hell. And she sets the car on fire. That was the movie. I'm going to put it up here because my brain went poof. But that's what I was thinking, because I think that was the same movie. It's like, I gave you the house, sell it. And if it's not the movie, I'm going to correct myself right here. Nina says, she's a thief. Flair was mom's idea and they stole it. They broke her mom's heart and she feels zero sympathy. I hear that. Sometimes you gotta, if you close like that, hold your mama down with the sentiments and the feelings. But I don't know that mama necessarily agreed. We will see this season. Simon wonders why he did this. Nina says it's just caused more trouble. So they plan to schedule a meeting with Gideon to unload their newfound inheritance. They laugh and they can't imagine the other kids running the business. They'd run it into the ground. They would. So at the family house, Wanda says that Gus was supposed to be the CEO. Why would he do this? This is the type of stuff that he likes to pull, Alicia says. Gus says he didn't trust me, and Claudia's like, this whole thing has to be fake. So naturally they worry about the future with Nina and Simon being majority shareholders. We are at war, Claudia says, and we will get what's ours. Ma'am is on a warpath. So Nina, she meets with Gideon. Like I said, she's trying to get rid of the whole company, the inheritance. They can have it. She don't care. She ain't care about that man. And Gideon's like, he left it to you for a reason. Ma'am says he hasn't been her father since a sunny day in 1993, 2 weeks before her 7th birthday, when he told her he had a new family and a baby on the way. When I say Stephen ain't shit, this show did not come to play. Stephen wasn't the easiest of men, Gideon says, but he wanted to make amends and he'd followed her progress throughout the years. She tells him basically it is too late. Gideon says he doesn't trust Claudia or her inside man, but Nina will not be swayed. So Claudia, she goes on over to the office and she chews out her inside man who she put in charge. Did I mention this is the same boo that she was with earlier in the episode as Mr. Stephen was up in the hospital? Okay. She wants him to figure it out. We see Nina and she's having a flashback. Her mom is basically pouring into her when they're being followed around the store for being black. We know all about that. Never let these people hold you back is basically the biggest sentiment of what her mom is trying to tell her. And I was like, Is this a light bulb moment for Nina? We'll see. So the London Richards thought that they had it made when they found out that the Richards in America had booked their flight back already. They all meet up for Nina and Simon to sign it all over. And just as Nina is ready to sign, Miss Claudia gets up on her doggone soapbox, child. Nina has to remind her, no ma'am, my mother started this company in our flat. Then Claudia gonna say she couldn't hold on to it or her man. Now, Miss Claudia, she got real spicy, which makes for good TV, but that's an ass whooping in real life. I'm gonna tell you right now. What did you say? Gus is like, no, let's just sign this thing and move on. I think it was Gus. But Nina, she laughs, and when she laughs, you knew it was too late. She changed her mind. It's their birthright. She's not signing over anything. Deal's off. So Nina walks out and she leaves Claudia's face on the floor. Claudia is hot and she tells Gideon to fix it. He's like, you just can't help yourself. Indeed, she cannot. Simon tells her, she's not coming back. I didn't deserve this, Claudia says, and we didn't deserve to miss our father's funeral. Checkmate, Simon. Gideon says, I'll be in touch if the owners change their mind. Fit to be tied. Claudia's like, we just let them walk out? All you had to do is shut your mouth and have them sign. That's what I said. That's what that spicy mouth got her. Just what she deserved. And it was her boo thing that told her that. And then Gus wants to, he wasn't wrong though. So he tells them, the boo thing, who I think's name is Andre, that they got an expensive fight on their hands. So they check us in on Alicia, Wanda, and Gus before we head over to check on our Nina and Simon. Simon is busy on his phone telling his boyfriend all about the drama. So when he gets off the phone, he's like, are you actually changing your mind? He tells her their lives are in the States, not staying there and running a company. She knows, but their mother started the company and they stole it from her. Besides, something just doesn't feel right. Why did he leave it to them? Now that is the question for the whole series. It doesn't seem weird to you? Where's all this coming from? Simon asked her. Then she reveals that Stephen called her for the first time in 20 years. Damn. So we flash back to that conversation that she was having with him earlier when she was at the bar celebrating her victory of her company, and there was more to the conversation. He told her that someone was trying to hurt the company and trying to hurt him. And Nina told him she didn't care and don't ever call again. I tell you, when these adult kids have made up their mind. She says next thing she knows, he was dead. Simon wants to know, like, why didn't you tell me this? What did he mean? He says. She's like, I don't know, but he sounded scared. You really think someone hurt him? Child, it's looking that way. Do we have a potential murder on our hands? Nina, she doesn't know what to think. She wants to find out what's going on, and she needs him. And that is where the episode ends. Oh, the drama. How are you guys liking this series so far? It was a nice little find for me. And you know, the British, they do know how to do it when it comes to the series. It's 6 episodes total. So I'm probably going to do these one a week because I don't want to entirely overwhelm myself. I know that's kind of slow because they dropped those 6 and most of you have watched all the 6. I may or may not have watched all the 6, but this video was actually supposed to go up yesterday. I came home and I was so sick. If you don't know, my youngest was really, really sick. Last week he was home most of the week from school. And I said to myself, please don't let me get sick. Please don't let me get sick. And when I came home yesterday, I tell you, I was like, so I've just been trying to make it through these couple of days. I'm hoping I'm, sounding raspy and sexy and not a little nasally in this video. But like I said, this video was supposed to go up yesterday, and then today was supposed to be Love and Hip Hop, and then tomorrow was supposed to be a vlogmas type of vlog for you guys. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Like I said, in order not to overwhelm myself, we're just gonna say it's gonna be one a week for the next 6 weeks. If I get to throw in another one, so be it. Please leave your thoughts and comments. I love to hear them in the comment section. Check out some of my additional content, like my little vlogmas done my way. And join me back here for episode 2. Peace.